Hey guys, Monday, May 19, 2025. Let's see what the Black Widow did today. So far, let's look at our market profile. As you can see, we have failed the value area high of 334. There's a point of control of 289 all the way to 278. Very possible targets if it wants to continue pushing lower. If we look at our weekly 5-year time frame, you can see that we are now below the anchored VWAP, and you know where that anchored VWAP is from. That anchored VWAP is from the August 23rd high of 1002, and we are now below it. But what's interesting is that here we found support and bounced off it. Here we had 1 week where we were below it, and then the next week we regained. And this week we are testing the waters. So, a couple of things. We could continue pushing lower, and it'll just be this week, and then next week it'll regain. It'll be playing this pattern. Maybe it's an algo setting that it's set, or just traders wait for that whole week candle to finish and then they push it on the next week. But that's the pattern on the anchored VWAP on that gas. So you want to be aware of that. Let's look at our daily. Daily is a little more interesting because the dailies we have two important anchored VWAP. We got the February 20, 152 low. We found support there. So that's good. We found support there. So either the algos or the market makers know this moving average. And we have our March 10th high of 490. You can see that sellers are aggressively selling once we kiss this anchor. See, these are the two most important moving averages that you want to keep an eye on. So can it go down there? Very possible. So keep an eye on that and keep an eye on this. There's also the point of control, 271, 266. Now we're going to get a little more fractal. We're going to go straight to 3 months just to see what levels are important here. You see that we already took out key levels 348. We're below here. Our low is 285. And mind you, we do have a gap. I'll be covering that later. So it is possible that maybe we fill this gap and then maybe turn. So we got this whole week pretty much till Friday, fill that gap, and maybe next week we could probably maybe turn. But then there's also other things, in regards to this 10 high that we're at the halfway point. So in regards to geometry, maybe it doesn't have to fill the gap. Maybe it just rips. But, we're taking it, step by step, baby steps. As you can see, volume, the bears were in control today. And if we go even fractal, 1 hour time frame, not 1 hour, 1 month, as you can see, we even took our value area lows, even of 320. Our low was what, 309? We took out the 90 degree and we already kissed the 45 degree on the square of 9. So we're kind of like, is this it? This is just a little pause, and then tomorrow even sideways to lower. So we'll see. I think that covers it for the market profile. Let's look at our simple glance. We got a PPS sell signal already kicking in on the monthly. MACD is negative, and you got the 20 SMA and the point of control around 280. So this is going to be a key level to keep an eye on right there. Below the cloud, linear regression channels are pointing down. So let's see how that's going to play out. So on the weekly, we have PPS signal, sell signal that kicked on March 31st. Dead cat bounce off the 50, failed the 20, and now is about to kiss the 50 around 306. If it gets down below 306, the high probability is going to kiss at least 284, which is the 100 moving average and the point of control around 256. So if you ask me, this is the area that I am going to unload and start nibbling to the long side. This area right here. It may get down there. It may not. Maybe it may just bounce off the 50. But this is the area. This is the sweet spot. If it pushes there or even lower, because then you have a wave 5 somewhere around here. Either way, this is the area that I'm interested in going long on that gas. So that's the weekly. You can see that the pressure is to the downside. And now if we go to the daily PPS sell signal kicked in on May 14, and it's just been down pressure, failed the 20, failed the 200. You got a Woody's pivot here, S1 around $2.99, which is $3 a round number, so it could probably get down there and bounce. And then obviously test the low of 285. And then if it bounces from there, it's a fail new low. So then, the bulls will show up. MACD is still negative. Nothing is positive in this chart. So within all these time frames, there's nothing positive. Keep that in mind. Nothing is positive. None of the indicators. Now looking at geometry, we failed our Andrews pitchfork here from here to here. But I want you to notice this pattern. Once we fail the big one here, how many days? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And then on the next trading day, it bounces and regains this angle. So right now we're into 2 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 23rd. And that's a Friday. I wonder if Monday they're going to regain it and it's going to be this kind of same pattern. So this is just my observation and speculation. Let's look at our channels. We're very close to the midpoint. Right here, you can see that we failed it and found support at the quadrant. So that's possible. But just know that within the channel, we're at the midpoint right now as we speak. If we go to our cycles, I want you to notice some things. This blue one is 512. Just picked the high here. And now we're seeing another cycle. These are what I call static cycles. I don't show these that much, but I do monitor them and watch them. And when I feel like we're getting close to these things are just kind of maybe could be a possible turning point. So I watch a lot of things. I don't know which is the one that's going to make it happen. So that's why I watch a lot of things and keep aware that the 21st, we're hitting some dynamic cycles, not dynamic, static cycles that are kicking in that are reflective in the past. And it could probably bring a surprise. So keep an eye on for the 21st and also keep an eye on for the 30th. Those are the dynamic, not dynamic, static cycles. FT levels, you can see that there's a 293 and the 283 coming up. And then in the Gann retail, you can see that we already fail 1x4 right here. This is what the Gann fan, this is what the retail traders use and how they measure it. Gap fill. So this is the price that I'm watching, 305 to 298. High probability that maybe we fill it and then rip to the upside or maybe push lower for a wave 5. So we'll see. That's in the works. In regards to my SO, we're already at the halfway point. And now I want to see if we could take out that low of 309. If we don't take out that low in the overnight session, this measuring system would probably indicate that maybe there could be a turning point or maybe a dead cat bounce. Another little dead cat bounce before it finally ends in a wave 5. But not necessarily maybe end in a wave 5. Maybe from here it rips because it's, it could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe pushes low. But it's kind of a mixture of the Elliott wave and, Gann theory of just kind of calculating price and time and space. And you can see that right now we're in the halfway point. So I want to see that we flush down very hard and to see if we reverse, not factoring in Elliott that thinks that wave 5 is lower down. So I'm watching a lot of things. So now you already know my motto. I'm not just going to be watching one thing. I'm watching a few things just to give me clues. So we got to see if we take out that 309 low, 308, 309 low to push lower. As you can see, there is some kind of support here. This was a high on 10-4 around 301. You see there was support here. It cracked it, but 303. We kind of cracked it here. We got 1, 2, 3, and then regained it again here on the 1/3. I want to see the same thing if it's going to happen here. Anything else here? Let's see. I think that's it. Let's go into our midpoint chart. That way we can end this video good and quick. So on the yearly, we already pierced our smaller quadrant, 319. We're on 313 around there. This is the big level, which is 286. I don't know if it's going to get down there. Good, but if it does, then there'll be a nice fail new low, because then you got a fail new low, finding support. Bottom feeders showed up. But so far, this is the bigger level, and you can see that on the bigger time frame, the weekly, using the yearly pivots, it's still negative. Now, when we go to the daily, using our monthly pivots, we failed the 25, and there's a quadrant here around 30. You can say 302. We haven't gone down there, but on the daily chart, it is still negative with a hockey stick. So I don't know. It could base here. It's kind of interesting. It's gonna have, the clues are going to be in the overnight. And the overnight is just sideways. Be expecting between, you could say 5, 6, 7. Maybe it wakes up and and tries to bounce, because that's when the Black Widow wakes up. That's her time frame. Looking at the 4 hour, 4 hours already giving us clue that maybe there could be a potential bounce in the overnight session before the U.S. So if that's the case, there's a target to the upside, 317 and also 330. Big level targets for the week. But if it's kind of like, and then push lower, this is your final target of 303, pretty much $3. This is for the whole week. And if you continue pushing lower, this is your last support for the week. So it's between 303, 317, and then if it really gets Momo in the overnight or in the US, at least test 330. But we're already getting clues on the waves that it looks like it wants to go. But it could be a dead cat bounce, so always be aware of that. You get the TPs here, dead cat bounce, boom. It'll be the same thing. You have to just be careful. And lastly, looking at the hourly chart, let's get this time in sales. You can see that we're starting to wake up. Started waking up around, you could say 1 o'clock, and then by like 1500, it started waking in. Right now, the hourly, we need to have a close at least above 314, eventually maybe to test the 318, which is your midpoint for tomorrow only. 318 is going to be your midpoint. So key levels to watch will be 314 and 318. And we have our low of 310. So let's say it's just a dead cat bounce and we're going to push lower. Then this is your quadrant or targets to the downside, 305 all the way to 301. You just keep watching that, levels to the lower. So it could be an area to short from right here, and then targets to the downside. And this is just for tomorrow only. So I am going to sign out. I'm watching some models, and there could be, it's a 50-50 shot that maybe we bounce in the overnight. But price action is king, so just keep an eye on that. Clues are in the 4 hour, clues right here in the 1 hour. Nothing on the weekly or the daily, but in the smaller time frame, it could potentially maybe. But the question is it a dead cat bounce? We got our halfway point here from the 310 high of 490. There's a few little things. Elliott wave theory says there's more downside. Maybe a wave 5 into around 2, maybe 280 around there. And then on top of that, we have our gap fill that we haven't filled yet, which is this right here. So it could be one of those things where we could finally fill it up. In regards to the law of vibration, in regards to Gann theory, I think maybe next week, Monday, maybe things could change. But we will wait and see. So there's a few things I'm shooting at you, so you could kind of digest it. But watch price action, because there's a lot of things all lining up here that could potentially turn. But price action is going to tell us. It's going to give us the clues when it's going to do that. I'm going to sign out. Hope you like this video, and I keep you posted on my thoughts on night gas.